we're just going to go over a local build, right? Like a local build for any kind of shop. It honestly doesn't matter. We're going to take advantage of some of the kind of like the templates that they give us. And then more importantly, we're going to create the basic automation that every business needs. I'll show you a lot of the automations that I would recommend building. And we're going to start off by like kind of building out the plan, right? So like, again, local build today, that's the main focus of today's call. We're going to do like a full local build, well, as much as I can get through, right? And I'll go you again through the exact building process that I use whenever I'm building these things out. This is more about like what each business will need once you kind of get them in. So that's kind of what we're going to build out. So I'm going to go to test account that I have. All right, so let's just pick a random local business. And the best way to do it, though, even before every local business, what does every local business pipeline should look like, right? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to pipelines. And in pipelines, I'm going to go ahead and create a new pipeline. In the pipeline, I'm going to use an emoji and money so that we can sort this thing out. We can also use another number if you're planning on using a lot of pipelines. But if you are selling this to a local business, first port of advice, don't put a lot of pipelines. Put one pipeline that they can manage because they're barely going to use that. And if they're going to be using it off their phone, you want to make sure they have easy access and it's not an overwhelming pipeline, because local service people, if they're out and about and they have like even an office manager, you just kind of want to be an idea of how this all works, right? So we're just going to kind of call this lead management pipeline. All right. And as always, I always use the pipeline to dictate the build. So always new leads, okay? After new leads, we have hot responses. Just hot leads, hot responses. We'll just leave it like that. At another stage, long-term nurture for anybody that wasn't sure. We have booked appointment, which is usually for any local businesses, always what has to happen unless they have a system that could be automated, which in my experience, they do not, barely. Some of these are not even using email. They're using their Gmail address to get stuff done. No show canceled. And I know these are more of the basics, but we can advance some of these and make them a little fancier. So, and then we can also add AI employee in a lot of these, but we'll build these a little bit slower. So follow up 3 to 30 day. And then we have follow up 60, 90. And then if you guys watch my automating contract videos, which just came out, you can see how to automate your contracts, send contract. Now, this is talking about one single contract. If you have multiple, and in my video, I went over how to do that. So I don't want to kind of go over that and kind of kill you guys. And then last but not least, if there is any kind of onboarding, you would do some kind of customer onboarding, or it would be the next stage visit, and then always not a fit because you need to put the wackos somewhere, right? So I'm going to come over here. I got my lead management pipeline without a 0-1. Okay, that gives me my plan, right? Now I could go one of two ways. Usually, again, whenever it comes to building out a new build or a snapshot for a particular or potential kind of customer niche, I usually do pipelines, forms and surveys, calendars. After those, I do the payments and the products. Then I do the site because I want to have everything that I need for the site ready so that I can build a site faster. So the first thing we're going to do is just do a builder, right? We're going to make this for, I mean, everybody's done roofers. Let's do contractors, just general contractors, right? And we're going to do 0-1. And I create folders for anything, general contractors on what they're going to need. So definitely a lead form, right? If we're running Facebook leads directly to a call, that's something different. But for now, we're going to have general contractors coming in, add a form. I'm not going to go over massive form builds here. This is just basically going to be a lead form. All right. Usually home contractors blue builds trust. So we'll just go with the blue button. All right. And then it's going to be grab your free quote here. We can also have it for an appointment, but we're going to make it super simple. And again, we'll leave all this there. The only other thing is I really do like people's name, because even if I'm doing like a cold call, better to call somebody, you know, like George versus nothing. We're going to also 0-1 contractor form. All right. Hit save. Okay. I'm going to hit the back. All right, and I have my contractor form, and I'm going to delete the secondary one here because I don't need the secondary. I don't know why it creates two forms like that, but it does. Hey, we want to interrupt this video for a quick little minute to just let you know that I hope you're enjoying this video. We want to thank you for being here, but more importantly, we are hoping that this content helps you do whatever you're trying to do inside of HighLevel. We also want to let you know that you have options to get additional help. We offer a $197 a month VIP coaching program that includes 4 days of office hours, first come, first serve, with Andy or myself, where we go in and we answer any of your questions that you might have live with the group setting for other people that are also working in HighLevel. We also have a VIP group where we answer questions directly one-on-one with anybody posting in that group to give you the absolute best support. It also comes with a bunch of other features, including our funnel brick system, our little mini course, and more importantly, a couple guides that'll help you through this, and also including our SOP library that we use for pretty much everything inside of our agency. So thank you for this quick little minute, but more importantly, go back to the video, get whatever you need, and if you have any questions that we can answer inside the video, just drop a comment on the video and we'll make sure to answer whenever we get a chance. And now back to the show. All right, no, I don't even want a regular contact form, but just to have it. So then we're just going to do a quick little contact form just so you guys can see it of, again, how I build. And this would become a snapshot. Contractor, website, contact form, just in case I have a website where I got to drop the automation into. All right. And again, name, phone number, we'll leave that automated message. Again, blue button, how can we help? All right. And then I'm going to create a custom field, add a field, and it's going to be a multi-line. How can we help you? Okay. And it's just going to go to additional info and we're going to hit save. Oh, it already exists. Even better. So that means that I've already built it. So just type it in here. How can we help? Boom. Okay. And make that required. Phone will make not required. And now we have a pretty solid form. Okay. Awesome. All right. I'm all set there. Then I have these two forms. So my forms are done. Again, if you really want to be thorough, this is where you would create a chat widget and all that. But again, keeping it simple, we're done there. The next thing I usually do is create a contact and go to calendars, calendar settings, super simple contract. We'll do a group. This will be intro calls. Okay. Come in here, intro contractor calls. All right. That's my group that I created. I always create a group first because then I come in calendar. You guys know I'm not a fan of personal booking. Well, these two are great, but usually round robin is always best. And we're going to do Nuno's ABC contractors. Okay. It's going to be Nuno. It's going to be the main person. Calendar, Nuno, intro. It's going to be 30 minutes. I don't want to do longer than that. I'm going to go to advanced. All right. Put a logo in. That's great. Blah, blah, blah. A little description. Drive it into the intro crawls group. Come in here. ABC free quote call. All right. Probably want to leave it, relabel that. All right. Boom, boom. ABC. ABC. I would do just Google Meet because that's what I have connected to make it super simple. Put an odd color so it stands out on my calendar. This looks good. Hit save. We would go through availability. Come on. Yep, that looks great. 30-minute intervals, 1 day to scheduling notice and only 60 days out. That's usually the standard. I'm just going by standard stuff, guys. I'm not going to go overwhelmingly like into a lot of this stuff. So I'm going to keep it super simple. Yep, form selector. They can add a guest, absolutely. And then redirect URL, no, but I am going to eliminate the second message. And I always want it to auto confirm. No pricing, so we're good. Notifications, this is a fun one I've been playing around with. I'll just give you some insights. Instead of creating an appointment reminder sequence, you can have this thing basically flow off of this particular calendar and you can modify each one of these. Now, the only thing that I'll tell you I will do is on the email one. I do the email one, I enable it, but I only do it for guest because the guest one does not come out, which is super annoying. Oh, that's unconfirmed. All right. And again, email, because if they invite their wife's not going to get anything. Or if that's the wife inviting the husband doesn't get anything. Come in here, again, same thing, email. Really not worried about everybody because I'll create my own for the main guest. But I can do the guest here and then assign contacts to the respective. If you're using a round robin, this has to be on. All right. So that's all set. We're not going to go to any further customizations. Now, good. I got my opportunities. I got my forms. I got my calendars. And we're just going to make payments. Come in here, add a new product. And again, obviously for contractors to be very different. Let's just make sure this is like 800 square feet. Basement build. All right. That's the standard. That's what they always sell. And it's a standard price of $10,000, like you see on the TV. $10,000. All right. Hit save. I can also create an invoice and have it ready. So I can have it here. And then I can have invoice. I can go into templates and let's add a new template. This will be, again, we'll just add it here. See, because I added the 10,000 square foot build. Yeah, there we go. And it's $10,000. And we'll say basement build. All right. Because at least now I have something to sell them. Hit to save, do it all there. If you wanted to create a contract, you totally can. So basement build would be here. I would also go into contracts and I would add a new contract. Again, I'm not writing contracts. There's a whole video on how to do that too. Come over here. This is going to be basement build contract. All right. We'll use this as a template. Good. Now I have basement build. All right. So I have my contracts and my invoices. I also have a product. Then basically right as of now, again, I don't want to get into the details of creating all this. I'm going to create the framework. Then I can come back and build as much as I want of it. Right. So I come over here. I'm going to go over to our sites and just to be super lazy, 001 contractor funnel, right? Confirm, come in here, new funnel from templates, roofing contractors, content creator, general contracting leads works for me. I really don't care because it's going to have everything I need it for. So if I was building a snapshot that would be specific for my niche, I would do all these things, go back in, make them really pretty. I create one template. Based off this template, I would probably send it off, adjust all the copy, do whatever I need to do. And then more importantly than anything else, I would design different templates that people can choose from and give a very limited choices. Because then if they're like, well, can you just build the website for me? Yeah, no, you got to pick one of these 5, and then I can just replace all your logos and colors. Like, the less choices you give your customers, the easier it is for you to like go out and build something. The second you start getting into the customization will completely bankrupt you or just not allow you to scale. And if you can't scale, you can't move forward. And now with all the AI stuff that's going on, even that Matt teaches, oh man, you can have AI fill all this stuff out and just have it ready to go. You know what I'm saying? So don't spend too much time on the customization part. Focus more time on what the package deal is. And then based on the package deal, giving them a few choices in there and then going from there. Funny story, when you go to your kid, for anybody that has kids, and you like, what would you like to eat for dinner? It's the most dangerous like question you could ever have versus, hey, we're going to eat chicken and rice or chicken and vegetables. Which one do you want? And now they only have 2 choices. They have to give you either or. And if they just don't want, they're like, I'm sorry, those are the only 2 choices we have at the market today. So it's just something to think about while you're doing this, but it's almost the same kind of choice, like limited to good amount of choices where you have like 5 or 6, but that they could stay within the templates. So just to make it super easy, so you can just, knock these things out one after the other, which is what you want to do versus letting them have the control of the customization and focusing so much on that. When they start making money and they want to fully customize, then yeah, they can get a fully customized site, $5,000, $10,000, and then you can get it over to, some kind of designer and do it that way. Just word of advice if you want to scale. So for instance, this will be my template 1. So I would come in here and you see how it says general contractor leads, and it'll be 1. Because then I would just create multiple templates and go from there. So, all right, let that save up a little bit. Fantastic. All right, so we have that. We're good to go here. And then we have our general contractor funnel. The only thing I want to do is add the actual form to get the free quote. So if I click on the edit on the first page, I am going to go over to get a quote, which will probably pop up if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, it goes to the next step. So it's in the next step. Home. Go to survey. We'll replace the survey with the form right now, just so then we have it. Oh, it doesn't even have it. Go look at that. So no forms, but we will do a form here, and it's going to be general contractor form. Boom. Make sure that's in there, and it goes to the next step. Okay, and we have that saved. So this is kind of pretty decently set. All right, I'm going to back out of this, and I'm going to go now over to my automations because I have technically everything that I'm going to need to really get this thing going, right? So what I'll do is I'll go to I already have lead management, ironically enough, but we're going to do it again. So I'm going to create a folder. I'm going to go 00.contractor lead management. And if you're focusing on AI employee and you're selling that, just make it, where it got the actual things in here. Again, just however you want to design it, right? So in here, first one is always, and the best way to always which one am I building first? Always use a pipeline to kind of guide your steps. So then you know exactly what's happening, right? All right. So from here, opportunities come in here, and we have lead management pipeline. Okay. We're going to go off of this. So the first one, again, build from scratch, and 001, I'm sorry, contractor, new lead. All right. Come in here, and then come in all form submitted, add form is, we already have the contractor form. Now, quick little side note, if you're doing Facebook lead forms, you can also have that in here. Facebook lead form. And the page is whatever the page is for your thing. And then it's going to ask you for the lead form. So page is, you would put the page and then you would do the lead form. And you could also have Facebook leads in here and any other leads coming in through this thing. And then coming over here. And then we're going to go through the first steps, right? So first is always the tag. And for now, we're just going to do contractor lead. Okay. Then we're going to come over here and it's going to be internal notification so you can get notified. We usually select email, but some people again, if you're using contractors and they're on the road, do a text message. So we'll do a text message here. And the user is going to be the assigned user. You have a new lead and come over here. You got to think of where the person's at. Again, if it's a contractor, they're going to be out in the field. If it's even a doctor, I've noticed that sometimes when we're working with doctors, they will not answer any phones. They'll go to emails sometimes. It really just depends on the person you're working with. Just know your client. So if you're being very niche specific, just know your client and what they want, right? And, here you go. This gives them the whole entire information. And they can call them right then and there. We also just want to send a note to the client, SMS preferably. All right, SMS will be contact. We just got your message. Someone will reach shortly. Now, one day when we get outbound call, This is literally where we would just activate the outbound call of our AI bot to go and contact the customer. Again, once we get that and once the laws are nice, that would be the way to go, because then it would just be, instead of a text message, it would just be automatically there. Now, if you're working with, again, somebody on the road and they can possibly answer the phone, this is also where I would have a call and I would immediately dial the customer. You have a new lead call. I'm in here, contact, first name, well, first and last name actually. So contact, last name. All right. And the timeout call is whatever seconds, because then this adds it. Now, the only thing we have to do is the opportunity, remember, because we want to track our leads. Come over here, go to the lead management pipeline, new leads, and boom. All right. Now, like we have the basics in here and we're ready to rock and roll, right? Now we come over here. So after new lead, we want to track if somebody's responding. So second thing is we're going to build from scratch. Start here, blah, blah, blah. Come over here, 02. It's going to be new, or just say lead response. Okay. And then we're going to do reply, customer reply. We're going to do hashtag new lead, contractor new lead, and it was by SMS. All right. And the first thing is we're going to do some if else. So if this is the positive, okay, well, actually, let's do the negative because everything else will be positive. Negative, no, stop. Okay. So if the contact reply intent type is negative, send them down a path, put the or, then it's either any of these have to be true. Contact reply, replied message is stop, enter, replied. This accounts for anybody trying to cancel you out is stop. And then one more contact replied, reply message is STP. Okay, there we go. Hit save action. And if it's any of these, we just put as not a fit, or we internally alert one or the other, or just move the opportunity, create opportunity, move to not a fit or check or whatever you want to do. And then we just put to lost and just make it easy. And again, you can do that. If it's none and they replied, we want to move to opportunities a hot lead or a hot response, put in the name, right? And just have it move. And then again, internally alert, SMS, if it's contractor, you want to get them out in the field, just responded in a text. Here is his message. Okay, boom, message body. Reach out to them on this number. And now I have the phone number, right? So come back over here, contact, phone, hit save. Oh, signed user. And then now it sets this and it sends a little message. Oop, don't want to save that actually. You guys get it. All right, so that's saved. I'm going to back out. Now I have my hot leads, the lead response. So I'm handling these two. The long-term nurture, not really going to get into that. The next one is going to be if they book on a calendar, right? So I actually use a recipe from this one because it's super easy. You go all the way down, appointment reminders and confirmations, appointment confirmed, but I want to be very specific. If not, this is the generic one. If you already have them, then don't worry about them. This one will fire. But the only thing I want to make sure you do is as it's doing the reminder. Yeah, see, I kind of almost want to make it where in calendar or in calendar group, I should say, we'll do intro. No. Let's check that. Intro calls, save, and then it would automatically go in here. The only thing you have to do is opportunity, update the opportunity. And this is going to be booked appointment. Boom, hit save. And then the only thing you have to add, because this one doesn't have it, is an internal notification. Again, text message for this person. You have an appointment with contact full name on back out. Appointment, start date and time. All right. So now, again, assigned user. Now you at least get internal notification letting you know that's happening. And now we have, and this is C03. And you have that. That's all saved. And you're good to go. Or is it 03, whatever. I made a mistake there. So just edit the workflow and change the name. All right. So again, going back to our little automation here. Now we got to do one for no show and canceled. Well, we can just do another create workflow, select the recipe. I believe there is a no show and cancel. If you go all the way down, no show nurture, select this thing. This thing's old as heck. So you do have to modify it a little bit. You're going to come over here. This is going to be 04. No show cancel because both of them work the same way. When the appointment status is no show and when your appointment status is canceled. Both of them are kind of the same. So add filters, appointment status is canceled. Boom. Reschedule SMS. Again, you would have to just go in here and just make it nice, right? That's kind of where it is now. So that handles number 4. Now we might want to do a long-term nurture. Now's a good time. So come in here, create a workflow. Again, select the recipe because they have it here. Long-term nurture. It gives you at least a formula. So then you can go in here and this will be long-term nurture. Instead of a month, I would just change this to 3 days. Okay. and go back in instead of another month. And I mean, you would have to obviously rewrite this because look, replace with email nurture. So it really doesn't have it. But what we would do is we would come over here and just actually, you know what? We would leave this open because we would want that when they put the pipeline to long-term nurture, that the customer controls this just in case they're doing their own. In our opinion, sometimes when we're working with contractors, they're like, I'm following up with them myself, and they don't want to go into any kind of nurture sequence. So we'll just put long-term nurture where it's an option for them to do. And what we'll do is we'll label it 05 and we'll say manual long-term nurture reactivation sequence. All right. So boom, we can keep going down this pike, which we did. Like, see, they're coming up pretty easily. And again, we have a follow-up. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, the other thing that I want to do is on the appointment confirmation though, when they book, I want to knock them out of a few things. So if they book an appointment, let's go back and let's remove them from long-term nurture just in case they are. So remove from workflow, another workflow, and it's going to be the no-show and cancel just in case we're sending reminders for them to do it. We're also going to do the long-term just in case they're in it. This way, the second they book an appointment, we can knock them out of there, right? So that's done. So they're not getting those like 3 months later, telling them all the good things about it. Now, from here, we have our follow-up. This is specific follow-up if you want to do. So again, come over here. I believe this is also a recipe. I'm just also showing you the recipes. I think there's a follow-up sequence in here. I guess not. Thought they did. So just start from scratch actually. And we'll come over here. And then this is like 06, follow-up, 30 day. Okay. This is if specifically it has to work only when they move it to the pipeline because nobody's going to know that you're going to follow up in 30 or 90 days unless you got off the phone and you said, I'm going to follow up I'll follow up with you in like the next 30 days. So come on here, pipeline stage is going to be follow up 30 days. So it'd be a wait 3 days or 30, whatever you want, 3 days. Then it would be the first email, send email, it would be something like a follow up. Again, throw G in this sucker. This ChatGPT is great for this stuff. Come over here, copy all actions from here, change the wait to 15, 7, whatever you want, doesn't matter. And then this is the third email. And the last one is copy. Oh, let's try that again. Copy all actions from here. And then this is another 15 days afterwards, which completes 30-day cycle. Save that. If you want to go a longer route, you take the same automation that you build right in here, and you're going to come over here, and we are going to go ahead and duplicate the workflow. And this one, instead of being 7, I do 7, and then I go in 60, 90. And that's just like one 60-day one and one 90-day one. And again, depending on what people say, especially for people doing contract work, this is a little bit more common. So this is when people select 30, 90 days. And then instead of this one, this will be wait 60 days. All right, just change the 60 up here and wait another 30 days to make it 90. And then if you want to go 120, you wait another 30 days and go 120 altogether. All right, if they haven't responded by then, they're pretty much dead. So there you go. All right. And then we have the automated of the send contract and the send invoice, right? Because we did that already. So if I'm solid, I get off the phone or I make a home visit, I'm ready for the person to go and I'm on my phone and I want this thing to be really quickly. And they just made an update to the lead connector app on the phone that allows you to really do some cool stuff in there. Create a workflow really simply. This is going to be 0. I think we're at 7. Send contract. Okay. I'm in here. I'm on contracts. Documents and contracts. Oh, wait, no, that's the trigger. We don't want the trigger. We want the pipeline first because we're going to move into the pipeline. And guys, watch a video on this. I just dropped on YouTube. It's actually pretty darn good. It shows you how to do exactly this. But if you have more than one contract, like how to get around that, the pipeline stage is send contract. And because I've already created that template contractor, right? All I have to do is come in here, contracts. Tavares, select template, basement build out, right? Because that's for this person. But this will be the pipeline that I'll be waiting on. And then just couple more and we're almost done. So here's 08. Let's make sure this goes to draft. Yep. That should have been 08. So let's just rename. So then there's no confusion with you guys. 8. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create another one, which is going to be when they sign the contract, we want to send out the invoice. So come in here and you can also do that directly from the contract too. There's the new contract feature that the second they sign, it automatically convert to an invoice, but you don't have to do it that way, but just know that exists. But we would have to build a full contract out in order to do that. And obviously with the time, I might not have it. So start from scratch. All right. Come over here, 09, contract signed. Okay. Come in here, do contracts again. Come in here and do a template is basement build out and the status is signed. Okay. Once that happens, invoice, send invoice. Give it a second to load. From user is going to be, there it is, Nuno, boom. All right, save action. And now it sends, when somebody signs that contract, it's automatically going to send the invoice. All right, so I'm going to hit save. And then what do we have left? If there is an onboarding of any sort, in this case, it probably wouldn't. If the person's not a fit, we just drag them over to not a fit or based on whatever they do. And then you're all set. Anybody that is got the invoice, we can have one where they pay the invoice and it goes in here. But you can keep them all in there just knowing that an invoice is in there, and that's pretty much it. So that's it. That's like a full local build. And as you can see, we took a little part. But if you create the framework like that, then you can go back and customize it and make it super easy.